everyone. I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a magnificent day. I'm here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe has to share with us at this time. And a lot of the energies coming up is kind of like this building pressure. Like it's getting more and more intense. The pressure's building, kind of like boiling water. It's like reaching a boiling point, a breaking point, and people are getting fed up. And part of that I say is because of my personal experience, but also talking to other people, like my best friend. Like my family's been extra since they got back, and they're just being extra loud, extra disrespectful, extra invading personal space, not seeing anything wrong with it. And like my best friend's been dealing with similar things. Like what happened today, she told me that she found out after this meeting ended that her mom and her daughter, my best friend's daughter's paternal grandparents, all had a meeting with the school and didn't tell her. Didn't include the father, my friend's ex, and didn't include my friend, didn't tell her anything. And she's like, what? They aren't the parents. Why are they at meetings with the school? Why didn't anyone tell me? And so she was showing me this strongly worded email that she was sending to the school and including, all these different laws and court things and legal obligations. And I was like, yeah, I would also include, about legal ramifications and potential for being sued and whatnot, so they take it seriously. Because from what I've noticed, people, companies, whatever, aren't taking things seriously until consequences, like serious consequences, get brought into the matter. Because like my best friend's parents had brought up before about how the schools weren't taking it seriously with my best friend, because my best friend was going through some things and needed help, and like they just were like, and like they would let all these stuff slide. And it's only when my best friend's dad came into the picture and was like, no, this is what's going to happen. You're not allowed to do this. You were legally obligated, and like breaking things down to them, that they actually started doing things. And so like it's very much that energy. Like people are getting fed up, and it's getting to the point where they're not going to put up with things. Let me know if that's you too, because I have been noticing this with a lot of people, and like I've been feeling it energetically. It just feels like kind of like this pressure building is like a stifled, stagnant, but also like turbulent, like kind of the walls coming in on you feeling. And like it's just like building is like it's got to come out some way. And if people keep pushing and trying to play games, they're gonna find out what happens when the other person's turn comes around, kind of thing. But let's take a look at the cards and see what else the universe wants us to know. Yeah, pink opal. Be kind to yourself, right? Be kind to yourself. Like, this feels like the universe saying, don't be a doormat. Don't be a people pleaser. Don't, try to appease others, cater to their whims, just to, quote unquote, keep the peace and not rock the boat. It's been one of the things that I've had to work on growing up, because that's constantly what my family would do to me. They would claim that I'm ruining things, scapegoating me and blaming me for everything just because they didn't want to deal with things. Honestly, upon reflection, it's happened in like every area of my life. It's a big theme, but the universe doesn't want you to put up with that. Like, no, you shouldn't be nasty, and like at some points you should pick and choose your battles, because sometimes it's just not worth expending the energy and you can just walk away. But have the strong, healthy boundaries. That's what I was telling my best friend. I was like, because she's like, a part of me is wondering if it's even worth saying anything. I'm like, no, you have to address this, because if you don't, they're going to think this is fine, and it's not going to be the only time it happens. Speaking from experience, like, because like that kind of stuff happened to me too, like when I was in the school systems, because they tried to pull some nonsense on me. One of the schools I worked at, when I turned 26, they were trying to like get me to resign literally right after I had turned 26 and was on their insurance. And I was like, this feels like age discrimination. That's not allowed. Like, no. And that's when they tried to like make things work, because they realized that they could have legal repercussions, that it was serious, that I knew what I was talking about. Because a lot of times these people, these companies, these organizations, systems, whatever, just expect people to be stupid, to not know their stuff, to not question things, to not come with the facts and know what their rights. And so the universe is saying, hey, be kind to yourself. Don't let them walk all over you. Have those strong, healthy boundaries. Speak up. Because if you don't speak up, it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse until you can't do anything but speak up. It'll just get to the point where like I can't, because like that's one thing my best friend was talking about. She's been wanting to move, but she didn't want to disrupt her daughter's like school, friend group, all of that, because this is where her daughter's like been in school for several years. And she's like, but I've been feeling it. And she's like, with this, I'm kind of just like, kind of F it. Like I might just do it now. And so, yeah, like if push comes to shove, people are going to start doing it. And also a message the universe has coming in is that you can only control how you choose to show up and the energy you bring to things. So if you voice something that makes the other person uncomfortable, not that you being nasty, not you trying to make them feel any sort of way, just bringing up the truth, how like their actions are impacting you, how their actions may be impacting themselves. Like there are people who run away from that truth, and so they may lash out, they may get nasty, and it's like the thing is how they choose to respond is not up to you. That's their own thing to deal with. You're not responsible for how other people feel. Granted, you shouldn't go around being nasty and trying to hurt other people, be a decent human being, but if they're gonna go and because they have the unconscious triggers, the traumas, whatever, and you're not trying to do it, you're just coming from an open, honest, vulnerable place of wanting to improve the situation and trying to communicate openly and honestly and respectfully with them, and they can't handle it, that's their thing to deal with. That's one thing that's happened so many times with me, is that other people expect for me to like walk on eggshells and to not speak up because it makes them uncomfortable, and then it's my fault and I'm responsible for how they feel and I need to cater to that. And it's like the universe saying, enough of that. Be kind to yourself, fill up your cup, take care of yourself, have those strong, healthy boundaries, because these people, if you give them an inch, it's like they take 10,000 miles, and it's like we're getting so done. We're getting so done. Finito. Right. Rhodochrosite, remember your worth. Yeah, that's one thing I was telling my friend. I was just like, you're her parent. Like, what they did was all sorts of wrong. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, are they children? Do they not know? Like, they're all supposed to be grown adults, right? Like, how did none of them contact you? And it's just like, know that that is unacceptable. Know that as her parent, you have every right to be informed and included on this. Do not let them treat you like this. And that's what the universe wants you to know. You don't deserve the mistreatment. Don't stick around with it. That was another thing that came up, was a certain person in my life, a family member who's dealing with a significant other who just is not contributing and is being like very whiny and complaining about everything, not wanting to work. And the significant other, he is just like leaving trash everywhere, wanting to play video games, smoking a bunch of weed, all these things. And it's just like, know your worth. Like, you don't need to put up with that, because this person, she is working, she is going to school, she is like getting pushed into doing all the yard work, all of the cleaning, all of the cooking, all of that. And it's just like that's what I was telling my best friend, because my best friend is fairly close to this person too. I was like, I just don't understand. Like, there has to be something there for the person to stay. Like, I don't know this person. I've never heard her say anything good about this guy, except for one time he got her a pizza. That's the only thing. Every other time is complaining and all that. I'm like, that doesn't feel like something worthwhile. Like, not that you should, say people can't learn, people can't grow, people can't change, any of that. I genuinely believe they can, but it's a choice. And he just doesn't seem to be willing to put in any kind of effort. And so it's just like, there are better people out there. Like, why are you letting this take up the space? And I feel like that's something the universe is trying to get us to look at. It's like, what people, places, and things are not actually up to standard, having the right caliber, matching our worth, because so often we end up compromising and settling for less and playing small and dimming our light, and the universe says, no, none of that. Remember your worth. Don't let them do you dirty like that. No. Yeah, blue lace agate, find your calm. Yeah, like, emotions are getting heated right now, and the universe is saying, hey, yes, these things need to be addressed. No, don't sweep them under the rug. No, don't act like nothing happened. No, don't do that, but also don't come from a heated place. Take a step back, breathe, process, recenter yourself, find calm, and then when you're at a level-headed, calm place, return to address the issue so they can be improved. And that improvement might be to calmly walk away and cut ties because the other person is unwilling to change. Because with some of these people, I've been trying for a while, and I'm like, one of the realizations I've had recently is just like, they have no interest in changing, so I have to cut more ties. Okay, sucks. I would love to work with these people, but they're not interested in putting in the same effort. So it's like, okay, I'm going to calmly walk away. I'm not going to play the games. I've never been one to play the games. That's one thing my best friend's like, I don't get why people keep doing this to you. You don't play those games. Like, I know. They seem to think that I do. And he's like, I'll give some chances. I'll give grace. I don't expect perfection, but I expect people to actually genuinely put in the effort and meet me halfway and try to learn, grow, and improve with me, because I'm not perfect either, but we can't come from a place that's super heated and triggered and angry and frustrated, because that's usually when we say things we don't mean. Like, for instance, my best friend's mom apparently told my best friend's daughter that she hated my best friend. And the daughter came up to my best friend and was like, oh yeah, grandma says she hates you. And my best friend was telling me, he's like, yeah, I'm not surprised, but what the heck? Why are you telling my kid that? And then she started trying to make excuses and justification. It's like, this is why you don't say things in the heat of the moment, guys. This is why you need to find your calm and remember to breathe, because things like that will come out. It just doesn't end well. Lemurian quartz, practice patience. Yeah, that's been a big one. It's been a big one because it feels like things aren't happening. It feels like things are stifled and stagnant and just going nowhere. And so people can get really fed up. Really fed up. And the universe saying, have patience, things are going to turn around. But if you don't have patience and you try to rush things, if you're not coming from a calm place, it could go poorly. Because I feel like that's happened with my family a lot. They try to cut corners, they try to force things to go quickly, and then they settle for less, and then they get mad because it's not good enough. And that's one thing with me, with some of my projects. I'll be in the flow, and then I'll hit a snag, and then it's just block after block after block after block after block, and then I get frustrated. I'm like, okay, I need to pivot. That's part of the reason why I ended up going to hang out with my best friend today, because it was a beautiful day, and I was like, you know what, going out and walking at the park with her would be really good, because the frustration was getting real because it kept happening with a bunch of projects. I'm like, why? It shouldn't be this complicated. But patience is a virtue, and it will help us out a lot in these times. Yeah. So after you're kind to yourself, having those healthy boundaries, after you remembering your worth, after you, recenter and have calm, practicing patience, then you take action. You don't do it from a rush place. You don't do it from a frustrated place. You don't do it from a place of, dimming your light, settling for less, acting like you don't have any value, letting people walk all over your boundaries and be like, yeah, I'm going to people please. Like, no, no, that's not what we're doing. Red Jasper is saying take action from an inspired, aligned place and from the right energy, from the right mindset, from the right emotional state. Having that emotional regulation, because I've just been observing people, and overall, not everybody, but a lot of people I've observed, whether up close and personal in my life or just from a distance while I'm just out and about, there's so many triggered people who are just having zero emotional regulation, and they're lashing at other people and blaming them. It's like, the universe says that's not going to go well. It's not going to go well. You got to be careful with that, coming from a place of patience and calm. Yeah, a place of balance. Seal. We need to have more balance in our life. And a lot of us have such out of whack balance. Like, we'll be overgiving or we'll be overdoing, and we don't give ourselves time to rest. We don't give ourselves time to receive. We're going, and the universe saying, hey, it's great to give. It's great to be on the go. It's great to be productive. It's great to be doing things. It's great to be, showing up, being social, volunteering, all these things. But is it in balance? Are you helping yourself? Are you showing up and being kind to yourself? Are you filling up your cup? Because that balance is key. It's going to set us up for, success if we're in balance, or failure if we're out of balance. And that's not to say the failure will be permanent, because failure is part of the learning journey and it can teach us so much, but it's going to be easier on us if we stay in balance. Right? Cat receptivity. And that also feels like it's playing into the balance, because if you look at cats, they will rest hard, but they will play hard. They are very much in balance. They don't care if it's the middle of the day and they're taking a nice long cozy cat nap. They don't care if it's the middle of the night and they just got the zoomies and they're just going to go all out on their toys. They are in the receptive mode. They're listening to their bodies. They're in balance. If they have the energy, they're eager to use it and they have a blast. If they don't have the energy, they're eager to replenish and, be mindful of what their body needs. So they can get their receptive mode. They can be in tune and in flow with life. We can too when we're in balance, but we have to choose it. The universe respects our free will. And so what can you do to get into the receptive mode? How can you receive more? Like, I had an email show up in my inbox about someone who wants to do a partnership with me. And so I'm looking into that and seeing how I can get in the receptive mode. I didn't go out looking for that. It came to me. The universe is hooking me up with this opportunity. And they have some really beautiful crystal pieces, some crystal jewelry. And so I'm interested to see where that goes. I'm in the receptive mode. I don't need it to play out one way or another, but I think it'll be a really good opportunity. And yeah, peacock, authenticity. How do you really feel? How are you really doing? What is it that you really want to do? What lights you up inside? Where is it that you want to go? Who is it you want to be? What kind of career or job do you want to be in? What kind of hobbies do you want to do? What kind of friends do you want? What kind of family do you want? What kind of home do you want to live in? Be authentic, be genuine, be real. Because that's going to lead the way. That's going to help you remember your worth, to be kind to yourself, and to just be in balance, because you're not pretending to be someone else. You're not catering to other people's whims. You're not seeking out the external validation. You're saying, you know what? I'm going to let my true colors shine, and the right people will find me. The right opportunities will find me. All will be good because the universe conspires in my favor. I trust it. It has my back because it's working magic and miracles behind the scene. Sort of like what happened with that, partnership, the email that came to me. They seem really excited and want to work with me. So we'll see where that goes. But it's because I showed up authentically, And so you can have that too. It doesn't have to be so hard, We can let it flow to us naturally. Right? Cardinal. I actually saw a beautiful red cardinal today. It was beautiful. I was super excited when I was helping out with my aunt's dog. Stand tall and proud. See the leadership role unfolding ahead of you. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be a traditional leadership role. It could be a leader in your family. It could be a leader in your community, a leader amongst your friend group, a leader at your job, a leader in the wider world. Could be, through like government, political, community levels. Could be at a school. It could be, all sorts of things. What is it when you're in the receptive mode, when you're in balance, when you're being authentic, that feels right for you to show up and lead? You don't have to lead a lot of people in order to be an impactful, powerful leader. So stand tall and proud because the universe knows your worth. And it's saying now's the time for you to recognize it too. The universe is so impressed with you. For real. Bluebird. You are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. Yeah. And part of that's your choice, Part of that's knowing your worth and being kind to yourself and saying, you know what, I can walk away from this. I don't have to be around it. And like having open minds to different solutions. The universe is so excited to bless you, and you're finally getting to the receptive mode to let it in. You're being open to it. And that's going to be so beautiful for you, Pheasant, the time is ripe for creation and connection. Focus your attention on these areas. Yeah, connection with yourself, connection with the divine, and connection to others. Connection to your passions. Creating, whether it be videos, written word, music, art, theater, whatever it is you're creating. It could be a beautiful meal. It could be a guidebook. It could be a recipe book. It could be posts on social media. The universe is saying, hey, recognize that you're a leader and start creating, start connecting, because it's going to make a world of an impact for you and the world at large. The time is right for it. So why don't you stand tall and proud and embrace it? Get in the receptive mode to follow these intuitive insights that the universe is giving you, the inspiration. Take that divine, aligned, inspired action and see where it leads you. And showing up as your true authentic self, it's going to open up so many doors. Yeah. Raven, the universe is calling you to notice important synchronicities. Sort of like how I've been wanting more opportunities, and then in my email, that partnership shows up, Or like also synchronicities like what happened with my best friend, about how she's been wanting to move and has been putting it off. But then it's just like, well, that happened. Now I'm just like really tempted to just be like, screw it, I'm doing it. That's a synchronicity too. The universe comes and shows us all sorts of messages and signs. It's just whether or not we're in the receptive mode, whether or not we have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. And it's up to us to choose. Duck. I find it funny because my best friend and I refer to ourselves as awkward ducks. But yeah, find comfort and balance. Again, balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. Yeah. Like my best friend, she's been feeling pretty alone. I've been feeling pretty alone. But we were able to support each other today. And we found comfort in little ways. Like we went on a beautiful walk together. We chatted. We bounced ideas around, kind of brainstorming, trying to like sort things out a little bit. We had some nice pie together. It was just a pretty chill couple hours. And we both felt better from it afterwards. And we're going to try to see if we can get our schedules to work out for tomorrow. But yeah, like, it doesn't have to be crazy ways. It can be in the small little things of just reconnecting with a best friend, or having a nice comfort meal, or snuggling with your pet, or listening to the rain, or letting yourself sleep in just a little bit, or staying snuggled in bed a little bit longer. Find comfort and balance in simple ways. You deserve it. Remember your worth and be kind to yourself, guys. For real. Yeah, self-love. Self-love is the foundation of all love. That's why the universe is saying, hey, remember your worth and be kind to yourself, because you matter. And you can only love other people as deeply as you love yourself. If you're not showing yourself love, if you're, making yourself jump through all these hoops, to an extent, that's what you do to other people. And you can't have that deep, genuine, meaningful connection with other people because you have these walls up. You have these, limitations and expectations and restrictions and parameters. Like, only when these boxes are checked off am I deserving. And it's just like, okay, so let's think about this. All right. If there was a little baby in front of you, what would the little baby have to do to be worthy? What would the little baby have to do to be deserving of love? Would it have to never cry? Would it have to be self-sufficient? Would it have to take care of other people? What would the baby have to do? Because the same is true for you. You deserve love. So give yourself love. Be kind to yourself and know your worth. Because you do deserve it. Yeah, have hope. Things are getting a little bit intense and wild and crazy, but have hope. Hope is the light in the darkness. Never extinguish it. Yeah, sometimes it can flicker and dim. We're human. We are having the human experience full of all these natural human emotions, and sometimes it's really, really hard. I've had a couple moments of that lately. I've been, getting pushed and pushed and pushed, and it very much feels like outside forces are conspiring against me. I'm not talking about the divine in the universe. I'm talking about some nefarious forces wanting to interfere, because my best friend was talking about that. She's like, yeah, it feels like every time we get together, something, like we're planning to get together, something tries to interfere, and it like messes things up. And I was like, yeah, that's felt that way for a long time. And I think it's partially because we lift each other up and we help us see our worth, and we help each other be kind and loving to one another, and just like, we get it. Like, we have different, situations and factors about things, but like the core themes, the core struggles, the core frustrations, the core, areas for growth and all that, there's a lot of overlap and same themes. And so it's like, my friend will say something, she's like, and I'll be like, I get it. And I'll say something, my friend's like, oh my gosh, I get it. Like, you get it, and you get it? Like, wow, like, you're actually someone who gets it. So yeah, just, there is light in this, on these dark, turbulent times. We just gotta keep it alive. We don't have to let them snuff us out, guys, because the universe is gonna bless us. Blessings are gifts from the universe. Receive and share them. Again, get in the receptive mode. Accept and embrace them. And part of that is being kind to yourself, knowing your worth, and showing yourself self-love. Filling up your cup, keeping your life in balance, being authentic. That's going to help you receive them. Allow yourself to receive. You are deserving. You really, really are. Speaking of light and hope, I share my light with the world. Choose to shine your true colors. Be authentic. Be genuine. Be real. Stand tall and proud as the leader you are, even if it's over just a few people. Share your light with the world, guys. The world needs your light. The world needs your authenticity. The world needs your stories and your insights and your strength and everything you have to offer. Your vulnerability. Share your light with the world, because we need you. We really, really need you. Yeah, happiness is a choice I make. It is a choice that you can make. That doesn't mean you have to like everything. That doesn't mean everything is to your preference. That doesn't mean nothing can ever get under your skin and bother you. That, you enjoy it when people cross your boundaries, that kind of thing. But it's choosing what you focus on. It's choosing what you allow in your life. And that could mean that because people keep crossing boundaries, you cut ties. You go distant. You spend less and less time and energy and attention on them. Because your peace of mind, your happiness, your well-being, it matters. So choose yourself. Show up for yourself because you deserve it. Give yourself more self-love, guys. Yeah, fire. It definitely feels fiery right now. There's a lot of heat, a lot of pressure, strong emotion, passionate love or hate. And the messaging coming in with the universe is, with all this pressure, all this heat, it's how diamonds are forged. All the pressure, all the heat is what allows the diamonds to be made. And so, yes, it can suck. Yes, it can be intense. And you can be like, I want to tap out. This is too much. I'm done. Please stop. But in the end, you're going to dazzle everybody. You're going to shine brilliantly. And so, yeah, it can be very intense right now. But on the other side of it, you're going to emerge like the beautiful butterfly. And also be mindful of where your strong emotions are going. Because again, in the heat of the moment, we can say things we don't actually mean and cause all these rifts and, hurt people unintentionally and all these things. So just be careful when you're having fire, guys. Like, you can play with fire, but when you play with fire, you can very well get burned. Yeah, moon, changes in your life. There's so much change right now, and some people don't handle it very well, which is part of the reason why things are getting so heated. That's why some people are lashing out, because people are changing and starting to speak up for themselves. They're starting to have strong boundaries. They're not putting up with the nonsense anymore, and it's triggering people because they want things to be the way they were. It's like, you never were like this before. Well, like the moon, it cycles and changes, and it's not going to be the same, okay? It's not going to be the same. Just like the seasons. We have the 4 seasons every year, but it changes from season to season. It's not going to be the same. But through all the change, remember your worth, guys. You are still worthy. Yeah. You're worthy for the opportunities that are knocking at your door. Opportunities are waiting for you. Are you going to be receptive? Are you going to allow them in? Are you going to choose them as the blessing that they are? Are you going to stand up and lead? Are you going to choose to stand tall and proud as the leader you are? Opening the door and walking through? Because they're waiting for you. But you have to embrace them. You have to take up the universe's blessings and opportunities. Yeah, boot. Increase your efforts if you want to achieve your goals. And that's not always the way we think. A lot of times when people hear this, they think that they have to strive more, they have to hustle more, they have to grind more, they have to get more hours, they have to get another job, they have to, get more after school activities and get the straight A's and do the extra credit and all these things. And not that any of that's bad, but it could be increasing your efforts in terms of meditation, prioritizing peace, making space for calm and patience in your life, making space for self-care and being kind to yourself, making time to fill up your cup, to make sure your life is in balance. There are a lot of different ways that you can increase your efforts. So be very purposeful, intentional, and mindful with how you choose to act. So you can set yourself up for some great success. Yeah. Basket. Recognition, reward for merit. All of the effort you put in is going to be recognized in the end. You're going to be recognized as the great leader that you are. So stand tall and proud. Remember your worth. You're going to reap the rewards. You reap what you sow. The energy you put out comes back to you. So don't worry about it. In the end, you're going to have it. You're going to have the success. You're going to have the recognition. You're going to have the bountiful harvest. Yeah, crown, because you are the sovereign ruler of your life. So act like the leader you are. Stand tall and proud. Honor and respect will come to you. You are the king or you are the queen. You've got this. Remember your worth. Don't settle for less. Don't play their games. And keep being kind and loving to yourself. Have those strong, healthy boundaries and don't put up with the nonsense, guys. A king or queen, a sovereign ruler, they're not going to put up with the nonsense. They're going to call stuff out and be like, no, that's not allowed. Stop that. I see what you're doing. No. You know? They're not going to put up with it. You shouldn't either. Again, pick and choose your battles because sometimes it's not worth it. But overall, know that if you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't speak up for yourself, they're going to keep walking all over you and doing the same old nonsense. And nobody needs that. So I'm sending you all so much love. Please take care. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.